So the Indiana Fever have struck out, or I don't even really want to say struck out when it comes to the stretch four because I don't think it was even an option. And the amount of these players, like with 800k, Naz Hillman being the cheapest of them all, I'm not saying losing out on $1 million for Azare or 1.2 for Alana Smith to stretch is striking out, but you guys agreed if you do need to sign a stretch for subscribe, we are trying to get to 58.5k by the end of the day. We are 40 something subscribers off. I think we can. If not, at least get to 58.468k so we can gain 100 subscribers for the first time in nearly a year. So, the Indiana Fever obviously have a decent enough starting four in Mo Billings. Ideally, you would have wanted Alana Smith so Mo Billings come off the bench. There's no power forward available right now that you're like, oh yeah, they're definitely starting over Mo Billings. So Mo Billings is probably going to start the four. It is what it is. Dantas is probably going to be there. And for anyone who's saying Dantas, no. Dantas is not good enough. And for me, there is one really, really big player left. And I don't think people are realizing just how good this player is. So last year, the Chicago Sky was a shit show. And one of the players that was on that team, Rebecca Allen, she was not great. Albeit, there were a couple of games she was unbelievable. She was the Sky's best player through 10 games. Maybe through 6 games. But like, if you look at her game log last year, like she started off the year okay. It just got worse. So she had 7, 11, 11, got injured. Did she get injured in this game? I can't remember what happened in this game. But 7, 11, 11, 13, 7, 8. And then I don't know what the fuck happened. But like the rest of her season, then she had a random 27-point game in a win against the Wings. And she struggled the rest of the season. This is a player who has been an important player for a lot of good teams. And more importantly, based on how the Fever recruit, on a team coached by Stephanie White. She was a starter at the 4 for a Connecticut Sun team who were the 3rd seed. And again, this is a backup stretch 4, playing 20-something minutes a night. She averaged 7.4 points on 35% from 3 for Phoenix the year before, starting over Sophie Cunningham, and started for Connecticut with Ty Harris, with DeWanna Bonner, with Alyssa Thomas. Started for that Connecticut team and shot 35% from 3. Beck Allen is a stretch 4. That is what she is. She is a passable defender, but she is a stretch 4. She can run a bit. She can play the 3 if needed. She's 6'2", 6'3"-ish. She's not small. Again, I've stood courtside just to get a gauge of these players. She's a decent chunk taller than me. Like, she stood relatively beside me, and I'm like, okay, yeah, she's definitely taller than me. Like, I'm 6'1", so the 6'2" height isn't a lie. I think she's been listed as 6'3" before. I would say 6'3" basketball height, maybe 6'2" without shoes is probably accurate for her. And you don't need like if you're struggling size-wise for a stretch 4, and they just have too much size, that's when you put on a Dantas. That's when you can put on Dantas. And that's fine. You can run Dantas to 4 against double bigs. And if teams aren't running double bigs, you can play Beck Allen. There's no issue with that. And I thought Beck Allen was really good this year when I watched her play for Fener. So she had, for Fenerbahce, she averaged 7.2 points per game. And I actually genuinely thought she was good. I thought she played well. Like, I watched her play against Valencia in this game. She had 12. It literally felt like every shot she was taking was going to go in. And she shot 8 shots, 7 of them were threes. She shot 45% from the free throw line in Europe this season, from the 3-point line in Europe this season, for a really good Fenerbahce team. A really, really good Fener team. And she played 37 minutes against Valencia. And if you look at this Fener team, like, it's ironically enough, she played with Mo Billings. Mo Billings played in this game. I was at it. Mo Billings had 20. Ileana Rupert had 19. It was fantastic. And then Beck Allen at 12. Like, they were the 3 best players on this team. And you're looking at it and it's like, Beck Allen is a very good bench player that the Fever can get. Because everybody's talking about, oh, the Fever should try to sign draft Justine Pissot. They should use their 10th pick on her. Like, what are we doing? Like, I like Justine Pissot. I do. I do. I think she's a good player. But, like, I'm sorry. 11.1 points for Vanderbilt. Cool. Cool. She shoots the three ball. What happened in the Sweet 16? She had... Was it the Sweet 16 or the Elite Eight? Sweet 16, I think. She had 2 points against Notre Dame. She was non-existent against Notre Dame. Like, I get it. She can shoot the three ball and she's 6'4". Like, she doesn't do anything else. And like, I don't know if she makes roster. Fine as a developmental slot, but not as someone that needs to be in the rotation. Marta Suarez is the funniest one ever as well. Marta Suarez had one good year in college. Like, she transferred to TCU, shot the ball well. She was like a 27% three-point shooter until her senior year. I'm not guaranteeing that shooting well in your senior year, after never shooting well before that, like, means that you're all of a sudden going to be an absolute lights out shooter for the rest of time. And even in Justine Pissot's case, she averaged 3.6 points per game as a junior on a not very good Vanderbilt team. In the case of Dugalich doesn't really shoot the three ball. Like, unless you're planning on bringing someone in and turning them into a shooter, like, unless you're planning on bringing in, I don't know, I'm trying to think who projects that they could be a shooter. Maybe Grace Van Sluten, but she's not that big. There's not that many big athletes in this, unless you want to bring in Medina Okot and try to hope that she starts shooting, because she hit a couple of threes at the end of the year. She's size and an athlete. But like, I don't see Steph White converting a player into being a shooter. That's not the way she rolls. She's not Carl Smesco. So why not just get the shooter? Why overthink this? Beck Allen's going to be cheap. Why? Because she had a disaster of a season for Chicago. Like, she's not going to cost much more than Carly Samuelson. Carly Samuelson set the tempo for Glue Guys at like 320K or something. Carly Samuelson set that Glue Guys who maybe had a down season. So I'm going to be real for a second here. Like, Beck Allen's a perfect player, and a lot of people are talking about Maisha Hines-Allen as well. People are saying that. I actually wouldn't mind Maisha Hines-Allen. She's big. She's a fucking enforcer. If anyone wants to talk about enforcers, Maisha Hines-Allen. No one messes with anyone if Maisha Hines-Allen's on their team. And she has had seasons where she shot the ball really well. She's also had an all WNBA season. So I wouldn't hate Maisha Hines-Allen on the cheap. But I will say, in general, that a Beck Allen is definitely an improvement from the on the Indiana Fever, and she's somebody that I feel could be a really, really positive bench option, and if needed, I think she could start. I don't think it's one of those ones where she'll absolutely guaranteed starter, but I'm like, I do feel like if she could she could start if needed, because again, this is a player who, people don't realize this, started over Sophie Cunningham. Like, people are talking about Sophie as like a guaranteed starter for Indiana. Like, Sophie Cunningham didn't start for Phoenix. Beck Allen did. And yes, I understand Sophie did start a couple of games for Phoenix, or she did start starting once Beck Allen got injured for the season around the Olympics time. But until the Olympics, the best, the starter for Phoenix that year was Beck Allen. So I'm all around, I'm like, this makes sense. This move makes a lot of sense for Indiana. So anyway, yeah, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.